What is going on, guys? Today I will be sharing with you how much money you can actually make off Turo. Is it worth it? And like kind of describing the marketplace. So if you guys don't know what Turo is, it's like basically a rental car company, just like an app, right? It's like Uber, but they don't even have their own rental cars. Just like how Uber doesn't have their own taxis, they use other people's. So you can technically rent out your car. So it's very convenient due to the fact that, let's say you want to buy a $500 a month car, but you can only afford to pay 400, so you need to come up with an extra $100. Is Turo really that valuable in order to the fact that you can rely on them to cover it? Well, let's go over my earnings. So I ended up getting my car like end of August, right? And I ended up actually publishing it in September. Now, I literally had, as soon as I published it within a week, or as soon as I listed it within a week, I ended up getting offers. So as you can see in 2019, I earned $739. Now, my car I ended up paying it all in full, or like the monthly payments all in full, right, one time, but it costs $589 a month. So my car cost me $589 a month. I got it end of August, so let's just start counting September, October, November, December. So that is 4 months, which means just for that 4 months, I need to pay basically in order if I wanted to cover all of it, I would need to make $2,356. As you can see, I only made 739, and a big chunk of that being in December due to the fact that in Utah, that is like the ski season, and mine is more of a ski slash kind of travel car, the one that I'm currently renting out. Now, so, 739. Now, if you only needed to cover an extra, like, let's say you can afford 400 a month, you need to cover 200. That would be close to averaging that out. Now, 2020, as you guys know, it started. So, now the red is like my missed earnings. That's like when I ended up canceling. Someone booked a trip, I ended up canceling it due to it being my bad, honestly. Either I needed that car for that time, or I just wasn't in a place to rent it out, or just whatever reason, or I just didn't really feel comfortable with them, and something like that. So as you can see here, in February I ended up missing out on 208, and I remember that because someone was coming in, and I ended up actually needing my road, because this is more like my road trip daily kind of car. So I ended up needing it actually due to the fact that it was Valentine's Day, it was over the Valentine's weekend, and I was actually taking my girlfriend on kind of a trip, or like going up to her to surprise her. So I really needed that, considering that was a decent amount of a drive. So I just missed out on $200 there, but not really a big deal. But you can see I still made 204 in February. In March, I ended up making 348. In July, 107, and then I missed out on 169. And this was because I just didn't feel comfortable. The guy literally just made his profile. He didn't really have a profile pic. He was kind of asking me strange questions about the car, like, can I take it out of state? Like, how does all of, like, it was very weird question, so I ended up reporting it to Turo because I just was not comfortable with it. And then in August, I have an upcoming trip in about 2 days, actually, and I won't be making $300 for that. So, again, $658 earned in 2020. That's the basically like including the 314. Oh wait, no, that's not including the 314. So I will then for this year be about $1,000, and I still have basically then the rest of August, even though I canceled. I made myself unavailable on the calendar for August due to the fact that I'm actually now going to down to Moab, gonna end up going down to Vegas, and gonna go just kind of travel. So again, it's not bad. I still have then September, October, November, and then December will probably be another $500 in that month alone. So I would estimate this year I will be making around $2,000 off of Turo, and then the previous year the last 4 months I ended up making almost 1,000. So I would honestly say that overall, within the year of me listed on Turo, by the time September comes around, I will have made $2,000 in total. Um, so now, is that reliable, right? That's 12 months of ownership, 12 months of listing it, $2,000 on Turo, which means it brought in an extra $166 per month for me in a sense. So now it really does depend on the car and your location. Mine is more of a ski and business rental. I mainly do that business kind of thing. But again, we can see here, if you want to like go on Turo, Salt Lake City, right? There's this great Chevrolet Corvette Stingray 2014, 63 trips, $189 per day. Now, Turo does take 30% of that. So you only make 70% of that, but you can depend on your insurance. But 70% is around the average, is the one I use. So it makes 132 a trip, right? I ended up doing a 3 day trip, so let's just say 132 times the 63 trips he's had means he's made 8,000, and those have not always been all day. And when I click on this profile, it shows he does it for a minimum of 3 days, which means since he has owned this car, he has made $25,000 off of Turo with this car. Now, how much is, if you were to buy a 2014 Chevrolet Corvette Stinger, how much is that right now? You can get a 2015, not a bad one, for around 33. This one's good for 47, so I would estimate it to be around $40,000 is what you can get a 2014 for. So now, with that being in mind, he is around 15,000 shy of paying off his car through Turo. So that's an interesting fact, but again, it depends on your area and what place you're in. Because at the same time, if I were to go to Las Vegas, Nevada, you can see that the BMW i8 is then selling for 286. Let's again say they make 70%. He makes $200 a day. Times again, this is he does have a 2 day trip thing on this though, so we can say 58 trips, so 11,000 times. Let's just say on average around 3 days. So he's made $35,000 off this car. And again, you can get that same BMW i8, I would say, for 60,000. Some negotiations, maybe you can get it 55, but let's just estimate 60. So he's still 25,000 away from being able to pay off that car. But overall, is Turo worth it in my opinions based on my earnings? I think it doesn't like do any damage at all whatsoever. I really have not had any bad experience with it, and I hope I will not have any bad experiences. Knock on wood. But again, I'm very cautious, right? Like I said, I ended up canceling this trip just due to the questions I was asked. I was uncomfortable, so I have missed out on earnings, and that's not good because then that kind of gets bad of the All-Star host. But I also do it due to the fact that I have a secondary car, but that is a convertible, so it's not always the best functionality like like I had back in February for a road trip. Not really great, especially in Utah with snow. Yes, we have snow up until around March, April time. So again, be careful. And then, so overall, I don't think if you can't afford the car, your lease car, I would not rely 100% on Turo to continue bringing that monthly revenue, because like I said, like a 2019, you might have like right off the bat a good one, and you're like, okay, sweet, that pays for my September and October. But wait, now November you can't come up with anything because you're still 100 short. But then December you have a great month. But then how are you gonna get past? If you can't get past November, how are you gonna rent out in December? So again, do not rely on it because it is very fluctuating. As you can see, February, March I had some. April, May, and June I had nothing. Again, Corona, so no one was traveling. July and August I have some. September I might have some, probably not though, in my opinion. And then starting in November and December is my estimate that I will have some. So again, right, it is not a substitute. If you can't afford the car, I would not suggest using Turo. I think if you don't really need the car all the time, if you just want a little bit of extra income for like fun money or investing or anything you want to do, like even to help pay the car off faster or save up for another car, I think this is very helpful. Like I said, I will be close to 1,000 for this year by the time August is over, and I estimate to at least make another 1,000. So I will have made $2,000 this year off of Turo. Right, that can be a down payment for another car or a motorcycle. Right, it really depends on what you want to do with that money. But overall, I think it's a great platform. I don't really have much bad things to say about it. But again, this is just my own experience. And you can very easily get a good side, not income, but a nice side gig, passive income in a sense. It really doesn't take much work. I personally clean my car already about every 2 weeks just for my own sanity because I kind of like doing that and I do it by hand. So the car wash and like the interior cleaning doesn't cost me anything. And then also you can also add extras. I have like post-trip cleaning fee. I have like airport delivery fee, which ends up being very helpful. So overall, a great experience for me. And if you want to try Turo, go ahead and try it. I'll leave a link down in the description so you guys can check out Turo and really what it is, as well as a couple articles that you might be interested in reading. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching / listening, and I hope you have a fantastic week.